Hello, welcome to Michelle Sews Again. I'm Michelle. Today I am going to give you my review, my point of view, my experience in sewing one of my favorite patterns, the Style Arc Nova Midi dress. So I was doing a Friday Sews, I think last week, and intended to link a card into my review of the Nova Midi dress and realized I've never done one. I think I might have talked about it briefly in a Friday Sews before, but I've never actually done a full review. So here we are. So if you've been following me for a little while, you know that I've made a few of these. Just as an overall point of view, this is a really easy dress to wear. It's just a basic sleeveless tiered dress that is so easy to throw on. It can be casual. I wear it with sneakers or my Vans or flip-flops, usually either Vans or flip-flops. But you can also dress it up with some wedges if you have a nice dinner planned with family or friends, or if you do that thing these days. So it's a really versatile pattern. And as you'll hear as I get into explaining how I've made it, it's actually very easy to make. So as I've explained, it's the description is it's a sleeveless tiered dress. It's that simple. There are two different views. There is the mini length, which has 2 tiers, and there's the midi length, which has 3 tiers. What I don't know, I looked for it in the description or in the instructions, and I don't see anywhere where it tells me what height of a person it was drafted for. So I don't know the answer to that. I made some adjustments, so where it hits me is not necessarily where it will hit you unless you also make these adjustments. So it is rated as a medium difficulty out of a scale from easy to experienced sewer. So Style Arc has skill level ratings on all of their patterns. There's 4 different levels. It's easy, medium, challenging, and experienced. And this is medium. The pattern itself does call for the bodice to be lined. The fabrics that I've made it in, they've all been this like cotton poplin or cotton, like quilting cotton kind of level. None of them required lining, and where I live, I didn't want that extra bulk. So I eliminated the lining. I didn't do it on any of mine. I just did bias tape finishes on all 3 of mine, which brings me to well, let me go to the sizing first. So it comes in sizes 4 to 30, and the finished measurements are a bust size. The smallest is 33 7/8. The largest size is 61 3/4. So a pretty decent size range. Though from a waist, it goes from 34 5/8 at the smallest to 62 5/8 at the largest. So I thought that was a pretty good range. For fabric estimates, because of the tiers, you need a 58-inch wide piece of fabric. Mine was on 2 of mine are from one was from Spoonflower. This one was from Joann's Customizer, which, because those are both printed, customized printed fabrics, they both come with almost a 2-inch white strip on both sides of the selvage. So you do lose a little bit of fabric. So my bottom tier is not as wide as the pattern intended, but it's not that big of a difference, so it's fine. But you do need the wide width fabric. This won't work on 45. I mean, I guess it could if you wanted to piece together your tiers more than just a front and a back. I mean, you could easily make that happen. So the fabric estimates are for 58-inch wide fabric. For the 3 tiers, you would need about 3.5 inches. For the 2 tiers, you need 2.3 yards. Sorry, 3.5 yards, not inches. 3.5 yards for the 3 tiers, 2.3 yards for the 2 tiers. Now that is assuming that you're going to line the bodice. I was able to get mine out of 2 yards because I didn't line the bodice. So that's just a hint for you. I did add 3 inches to the bodice because the Ampere waist actually hit me right in the middle, or maybe even right below the bust line. And that's just not a look that I like on myself. Because I am full busted, I just feel like it, I don't know, I don't like the way that looks. So I added 3 inches to the bodice length, which took the seam line for the first tier to just above my natural waist. And you can see, this was before I was tracing patterns. So you can see that I just added the 3 inches to the bottom of the pattern piece. And now I have it so that it's there for me to remember every time I make the dress. Because, I mean, I've made 3 so far. There's definitely more in my future. And for this version, so I've made 3. Let me show you the ones that I've made. My very first one I made during my sewing frenzy right before my vacation in June. If you haven't seen that video, I'll link a card right here. And basically, I woke up on, I think it was a Sunday morning or a Monday morning, I think, and decided that there were 7 things that I wanted to make for a vacation that I was leaving for on Thursday night. And lo and behold, I was able to achieve it. So it was most certainly a sewing frenzy. And that's all while working Monday through Thursday before I left town. So I was working in the morning before I started work. I was taking a lunch break, which I don't normally do. And then I was sewing at night. So I was able to get all 7 garments done. And the Nova Midi was one of them. And I made it in this gorgeous print from Spoonflower that is designed by my favorite Spoonflower fabric artist, The Artworks. Her name is Melissa. But she does, she is an artist, so she paints and draws and things like that, and then she submits them for prints on Spoonflower, which you can get printed on fabric or wallpaper or whatever you can get printed on Spoonflower's website. And so I got this amazing, huge, like floral print. I think the name of it is Neon Flowers or something like that. I'll put a link in the description box. And that was my very first one. And I used just some pink bias tape for the neck and the arms, and I did the 2 tiers, and I'll insert some pictures of me wearing it so you can see how it looks. They all kind of look the same because the fabric's all very similar, all very similar weights and yeah. All right, so the second one that I made was just a couple of weeks ago, and I made it with this tie-dye fabric that I made. So I had attempted this ice dye experience. I followed, well, I didn't really follow a tutorial on YouTube. I used it as inspiration and thought that it might come out kind of close. It didn't come out anywhere near the inspiration, but I'm still very happy with the results. So it's these really great fun colors. There's something new, like in every place that you look, there's a new image. So I love this big, like almost like butterfly moth looking like image in the front center. I love these colors here and how that turquoise split out. I like this like bright green yellow, like, I don't know, that almost looks like a chemical reaction kind of image under a microscope or something. I find something new every time I look at it, like those purples or those lemon yellows. It's just, I love it. I've got these. And I love that I was able to place the fabric so that I was getting like some really cool like symmetry going on. Anyway, I'm loving the ice dyeing. It's gonna be a theme. Okay, and then my newest one I made this week, and I made it with this fabric that I got from Joann's. It's from their customizer section, where you can pick a print and you can play with the scale, the repeat, and the position of the repeats. And you can also upload your own images. So if you have, like, if you want to use a photograph that you've taken, or you want to do your own drawing, and like if you're an artist, you can create your own fabric. It's definitely something I think I'm going to play around with a little bit. And the fabric was a little bit less expensive than spoon flower, but it's also, let me see. So this fabric from spoon flower is their basic, I think they call it their premium cotton or something like that. So it's definitely like a little bit more structured. There's not a lot of drape, but there's a little bit of drape. So it's kind of like a quilting cotton, but still like light and easy to wear. This one is also like a quilting cotton, but it's a heavier weight than that one. It's very crinkly and stiff. There's no drape to it whatsoever, and I feel like, I don't know, I'm not loving the fabric of this, even though the print is to die for. So I think I'm gonna order this again in a different fabric. I think I wanna order it in the linen and see how that goes, just because, I mean, I love this fabric so freaking much, but I love the print, I should say. I don't love the fabric. Anyway, so I added pockets to this one. I used the pocket piece from my peppermint Bardon dress and just inserted them into the first tier, and that worked out perfectly. I wish that I had pockets in both of my other ones, and I will definitely, I'm probably not gonna make another peppermint Bardon. I like this and the peppermint Bardon are very similar. The difference is that the Bardon is more of a tank style, where this one's just more of a sleeveless bodice, and I like the coverage on this one better. So I think I'm just gonna take the pocket piece from my peppermint Bardon packet and leave it in with my Style Arc Nova Midi pattern. And there I have a complete pattern. So that's, so as I said, I added 3 inches to the bodice, and then I have only done the 2-tier version. I might eventually do a 3-tier version. I think that would, you know, that would give me like the feel of the peppermint Bardon dress, but then the coverage of the bodice that I like in this style better than the peppermint Bardon. I used the elastic method of gathering the tiers that I learned from Sam at Frugalissima, and I will link that video down below. It is a game changer, and the more that I use it, the better I get at it, the quicker I get at it, and it's a game changer for doing gathers. At least for me it is. I don't enjoy like doing the 2 and like pulling them, especially on tiers that are like so big. It freaking takes forever, and getting them evenly spaced, and it takes too long. And the elastic method is like, it's guaranteed to get your gathers even, and it's just so much quicker. So I'll link her video below. Definitely go check it out, and let me know if you go check it out. Let me know what your thoughts are. Anyway, so I used that method, and the one tip that, and this is probably not, it's not what word am I looking for? It's not the approved technique way to do this, but because there's so much bulk of the dress at the end, I hem my bottom tier before I attach it to the dress. And that way I don't have this bulk of dress as I'm trying to hem the dress. I started that with my second one, and it's made a difference, and I don't feel like, I just have to make sure that when I'm sewing my tiers together that I'm very careful about the raw edges of the 2 pieces of fabric matching up, because you know how they can kind of get away from you and not be even. And that would, if I did that and hemmed my bottom tier first, then I could get a wonky hem. But because I'm very careful about making sure that my raw edges match up when I sew my tiers together, pre-hemming my bottom tier hasn't resulted in a wonky hem yet. So that's a tip from me. Use it at your own risk because I can't guarantee an even hem with that method, but that's just what I do. For this dress, for all three dresses, I did use bias binding for the neckline. For the other two dresses, I also used it for the arms. For this dress, I was lazy and I just turned under the fabric for the arms, and that seems to work fine. I didn't want to do it for the neckline because I wanted a nice flat neck, which I don't know, that might have worked. I don't know. But yeah, so I'm happy with this. I like the way that it's turned out. I love how, I mean, honestly, I've gotten a lot of wear out of my other two. I just finished this one. I just put the neck binding on this morning. So I anticipate getting a lot of wear out of this one, especially because this one has the pockets. And I definitely see more of these in my future. I can see me doing some color block versions, mixing some prints together in the tiers. I can see this being maybe a scrap buster where I do, you know, each panel of the dress in a different fabric. Actually, maybe I'll do that for the Sew 50 Sustainable Challenge. Oh yeah, that's happening. That's happening. Okay, so that's my review of the Nova Midi dress from Style Arc. Have you made this dress? What was your experience? Did you do the lining? So the fabric suggestions for this are silk, crepe, rayon, and washed linen. I'm surprised they don't recommend a cotton because it works perfectly in a quilting cotton. But yeah, so I definitely recommend this dress. I think that the medium skill level is probably accurate. I think, you know, gathers can be a little intimidating for a novice beginner. I know that I struggled a lot with it when I was a beginner last year. I made a couple of shirts that required gathering and they were a hot mess. But I will admit I didn't know about the elastic method. So that could have made a big difference even to me as a beginner. So I think if you're a beginner that has a few garments under your belt, I think you could do this and not have any trouble. Like I said, I haven't attempted the lining version, so I don't know if that's easier than bias finishes or not. I just felt like the lining this fabric would just be too bulky and heavy for me. So those are my thoughts. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are, and I look forward to talking to you next time. Wherever you are, I hope that you're having fabulous weather and that you're able to get some sewing in. Thanks so much for joining me. I'll talk to you next time. Bye.